Broadcasting live from the Temple of Epiphany on the plain of Theros, this is Tap Tap Concede. Yes, we're back in Theros. I know that we've been coming to you from Tarkir recently, but we're going back to Theros because it's the Journey into Nyx Flavour episode that I promised months and months and months ago.
The long-awaited.
Yeah. This is, I'll be going into some of the real-world Greek and sometimes Roman origins of some of the cards from Journey into Nyx. I know that we're past M15, we're past Khans of Tarkir. Heck, we're getting into spoiler season for Commander 2014 now. But I said I would do this, and we got to get this one. We got to get this episode in the books. Also, we didn't record one last week because of crazy filming schedule, so we're going to have 2 episodes coming out this week, and this is one of them. And the next one we'll be talking about Commander 2014.
Yeah.
2015.
Is
it called 2014?
Yeah, it is 2014. Okay. I don't know why. Like M15 is Magic
crazy.
2015, but Commander is 2014. It's
weird. All just a mess.
It's the whole thing. But first, let's crack-a-late that pack.
Oh boy, I'm gonna roll the mega dice.
All right, I'm gonna move my iPad.
Mega
out of the way.
delight.
Go for it.
Come on, no whammies. Come on, 20.
What is? I don't even know what 20 is. Where it drops. What is it?
8.
8.
8.
Ugh,
this looks bad.
I'll say
from
it again
here.
for the mic.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cold snap.
God damn it.
Could be worse.
It's a little chilly today.
It's not actually that bad.
It's not that bad, really.
It's a nice we're recording this on Halloween.
Cold
Let's go find
snap.
out how much all these cards are worth.
Speaking of a third part of something that came way too late. Cold snap.
Yeah.
Hey, how thematically appropriate.
This is the... so for those who aren't aware, because this is a really weird thing, way back in Magic, they did an expansion called Ice Age, and it came after Alliances, or was it Ice Age and then Alliances?
I have no idea.
Anyway, the point is,
It was-
the block, the Ice Age block, is actually, because they all do it in threes, is actually Ice Age and Alliances and Cold Snap. Even though Cold Snap came out in 2006, like way later. It was sort of the missing third part to that set, and it was designed to be drafted to it like with itself, which is why there's a lot of cards that like expect you to have multiple copies of commons. It's kind of weird. So anyway, let's start with the Drellnock.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's a Yeti mutant.
Sweet.
What the hell is this? 4 and a blue for a 3/3. Whenever it becomes blocked, you may draw 2 cards.
Oh, that seems really good, honestly.
Yeah. Play that card.
I'd play that.
That seems sweet. Go Cthulhu Yeti.
I mean, it's basically unblockable for 5, but if they really need to block it because, like, you're going to get them with it, then
you draw 2 cards.
Oh, nom. I like it. And it's 3/3, so it probably, you could probably get some value if they have to double block it or something.
Gutless Ghoul. It's a 2/2 for 2 and a black, and for a single colorless and sack a creature, you gain 2 life.
Oh.
That actually seems fine.
That also seems good. I like sack outlets. I don't know if it's good in this block, though.
Well, it's nice that it's really cheap. So if your creature is going to die anyway without trading,
Yeah.
just get killed, and you can just be like, all right, well, I sack it and gain 2 life.
Yeah.
Also, notably, the Gutless Ghoul is a snow creature.
Yes.
So which the Yeti is not. But
That makes sense.
The Ghoul is a snow permanent, which matters for certain other things. Snow is one of the super types.
Also, the art on Gutless Ghoul is really good.
Ronim Hulk. It's a 5/6 for 4 and a green
There's something wrong with this card.
with protection from snow
Okay. So now he can.
He can't be blocked by that.
by the Gutless Ghoul.
Okay. There's still something wrong with this card, though, right? Like.
Yes, it has a cumulative upkeep of 1 colorless.
Oh, that's actually not like ridiculously terrible.
Cumulative upkeep.
Yeah.
So you cast it,
Yep.
and then on your next turn you pay 1 colorless, and on your next turn you pay 2 colorless, and on your next turn you pay 3 colorless.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess a 5/6 for 5 with Pro Snow.
Probably a relevant ability. I don't know how.
Yeah, it could be good.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I don't know if your opponent's got all the gutless ghouls.
All right.
Hey, a snow-covered island.
Sweet.
Basic snowland island.
Were those our uncommons, or were those our...
This is just in the set.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
This
you
is
need
a
the snow-covered
landslide.
land.
Yeah, that's right. All right. What's
How
up?
come people like the Ice Age snowlands are always in high demand? I wonder why the Cold Snap ones
Because
aren't.
these don't look special.
Yeah, I guess.
They don't have like
just
the
don't look as
snow
cool.
icon or whatever on them.
But this has basic snowland. It's got 3 super types. It's 3 times as super. All right. Gelid Shackles. It's a single white enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't block, and its activated abilities cannot be played.
Seems fine.
It's very similar to a card we just saw in the spoopy draft.
Oh, Spoopy
yesterday.
Sealed, yeah.
Spoopy Sealed.
The Kurtar's Desire, I think
Yeah.
it was, yeah. So it can't block, and you can't activate its abilities. It can still attack.
Yes.
So I guess it's for utility creatures. But it has another ability. For a single snow mana, enchanted creature gains Defender until end of turn.
That's why you need these snow-covered lands.
So you as the controller of the aura can pay a
force
snow
it
mana
to not be able to attack
and
yeah.
have it also not attack.
Interesting.
I mean, that's good for a white.
Yeah, I mean it's a smaller investment than like
It reminds me a lot
an O-ring.
of it reminds me of Burden of Guilt
yeah.
from Innistrad, which
think
was a
so.
single white mana, and then you could pay 1 to tap the creature.
Yep.
And so this is better already because without you even trying, it can't block and
Or
it can't
activate, yeah.
activate its abilities. But you can pay snow, and presumably you'll have snow land
Yeah.
in the draft anyway. Also, relevantly, this is a snow enchantment.
Yes.
So you
So you
can't
can't
put it
put it on
on
your
the
Ronin Hulk.
on the Ronin Hulk. Yeah.
No. All right.
That cumulative upkeep
this-
is looking like a better bargain every card.
I've heard people talk about Cold Snap actually being kind of a miserable draft environment, but this seems okay so far.
I've never drafted it, so
We should do a cold snap draft.
Oren Yeti.
Okay.
It's a 3/3 for 3 and a red.
And notably, it's a snow creature. Once again,
this Yeti is a snow creature. The Drellnock was not.
Flavor fail.
So it's a 3/3 for 4. That's the Hill Giant,
Yep.
which is fine. But this one has for 2 and a snow. Target snow creature gains first strike until end of turn. You can give your Gutless Ghoul first strike, or this guy. You can give this guy first strike until end of turn.
but not the Ronin Hulk.
You got to feel pretty bad if you don't have a snow covered anything with these cards out.
Well, I mean, that's why probably the
Yeah.
basic
Doesn't-
snowlands are.
Yeah, but you're not playing with like. Did you get to just play with?
I think you
like
just
in
got-
draft.
I think
did you
everything
just-
was snow.
Was it just all snow covered?
Maybe not.
Like that-
maybe not. Maybe that was part of it.
Like if the thing is that you needed to like, especially in draft, if you needed to draft snow covered lands
To
to
make-
be able to play in your decks.
Oh god, that means you got to basically like first
Now-
or second pick them.
Now you need to prioritize just regular lands. Like they can
Oh, it's
activate
like-
abilities, sure.
Remember the gates in
Yeah.
Dragon's Maze, right? Everyone was first, second picking gates just because they wanted to get the gatekeeper value going.
Yeah, but at least those like tapped for 2 mana.
Yeah, that's true.
Paul's got some info.
I'm just looking at the set list here, and I don't see any just basic lands. So I believe the snow covered that's just the land in the set.
But when you drafted the set, were you supplied additional snow covered?
Like when you draft any
Yeah.
normal set right now, you just go grab a stack of basic lands, right? Back when you drafted this, were you able to just grab a stack of snow-covered lands? Because it makes all of these guys significantly better, in my opinion,
Yeah.
right?
But if you had to draft these snow covered, like, because there's a snow covered island in this pack in a common slot, so if you had to draft that,
Because now what do? Because you can just play this in your red deck because you can tap this for that
For snow mana.
For snow mana.
ugh.
You could tap it for snow mana for the Gelid Shackles.
Interesting.
All right. Well, Paul's going to look that up.
All right.
But I'm going to keep going with Surging Dementia. It's 1 and a black sorcery with Ripple.
Okay.
So this is what I was talking about. So Ripple 4.
Fudge ripple clusters.
When you play this spell, you may reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may play any revealed cards with the same name as this spell without paying their mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. Target player discards a card. So the idea is because it's not a big set and you're drafting it in amongst itself, it's very easy to get multiples of the same common.
Yeah.
And so if you have multiple surging dementias, you could maybe get a Mind Rot for one colorless cheaper, or in Magical Christmas Land, which makes sense because everything's covered in snow, you could have them discard 3 for 2 mana.
I don't like
If
this.
you hit, 'cause
still-
this has Ripple 4, so
Yeah.
I still don't like it. But
Yeah, but
that's one of the mechanics
I understand
that they put
what-
in
yeah.
for the intent that you would be drafting the set
All right.
by itself. So, Thermal Flux. It's a single blue instant.
I like it already.
That's a single blue instant, and you're like, ooh, I'm already on board.
Hey, you know what also is a single blue instant? Brainstorm.
Yep, this is not Brainstorm.
No.
Choose one. Target non-snow permanent becomes snow until end of turn, or target snow permanent isn't snow until end of turn.
Okay.
And draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep.
So
Boo.
yeah.
Well,
this-
it's a cantrip,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I don't know how useful it would be, but
I think
mean-
there was what was the one? Was it Fleeting Distraction that people would run in a pretty recent set?
do not remember what that card does.
It gives a creature like -1/-0,
But then you draw
until
a
end of
card?
turn for a single
you
blue.
draw a
Oh
card.
yeah, it was reprinted in is it Born of the Gods? Paul's just double checking. I think it was in Theros block.
Avison Restored
Oh, okay, Avison Restored.
and Rise.
And Rise of the Eldrazi, right. Like, people would play that just to, like, maybe win a combat, but worst case, they'd be like, all right, end of your turn, that thing gets a minus, and I draw a card.
Yep.
And this seems like it would be easier to get a trade out of it
Well, I mean, yeah.
with all this, like, snow
I mean,
stuff.
right now I've seen it for a Ronan Hulk, which is something I would probably just let them pay the upkeep on anyhow.
Well, no. That doesn't affect this.
No, but like
But you
eventually
can-
that's going to go away because I won't be able to pay for it.
Yeah. But you can, if you have the Ronan Hulk, you can make you can make their blocker snow, and
Yeah.
then the Ronan Hulk can
Yeah,
just
but everything
drift
else
past.
also looks like it. Like there's
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of snow. I don't know.
I'm trying to
So
help.
far, I haven't seen.
How about a Ronan Unicorn?
Done. It's unicorn getting. Is it? What is it?
It's a Silver Chase Fox.
No. Yeah. Done.
Yeah, 1 and a white for a 2/2 unicorn.
But
Sacrifice Ronan Unicorn, destroy target enchantment. It's actually way better than Silver Chase Fox, because Silver Chase Fox you have to pay, don't you? Don't you have to pay to sacrifice
Yes.
it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't
it's
remember
like
what
one,
it.
one and a white to
one and a white, I
sacrifice
think.
Yeah.
a silver chase fox. I was just playing Conspiracy last night.
Even if it was.
Yeah.
Even if this was even if Silver Chase Fox was a reprint of the unicorn would still be strictly better on the account of it being a unicorn, correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, the silver chase fox is actually slightly different.
Yeah, 2 things. Yeah. So Silver Chase Fox exiles. It doesn't just destroy.
Oh, interesting. I forgot about that.
Also, I just was looking at the official Wizards of the Coast thing for drafting Cold Snap.
Ooh.
And for limited play, you will not be able to add snow-covered lands to your deck, but instead play with only those in your card pool.
Interesting.
Ah.
Yeah, I feel like that makes it a
The
lot
set is
worse.
constructed in such a way that these lands will have an impact on play, even in small numbers.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
It's funny reading about the draft format. This is a draft format because this they were coming off original Ravnica, and then they went to small set triple draft, which is a pretty big change.
Wow, weird. Yeah, because this was a small set, right? So you remember doing, like, when we've done this a couple times on stream or on video. When a set comes out of Magic Online, they'll offer like triple small draft, even though that's
not a thing.
not like a thing that it was designed for.
Yeah.
And people get all like, well, it's not a real format. And it's like, well, it's still
I mean, it's fun.
It's still fun. But yeah, I remember doing like triple Dragon's Maze and having like 4 Zerta druids and just being like, a ping you, a ping you, a ping you, a ping you. It was like ridiculous, right? But this was designed around that. Like, the idea that you have lots of commons.
In fact, it says triple small set draft has never been a real format, but instead merely a pre-release curiosity until Cold Snap.
Yeah, and I think Cold Snap's the only time they've ever done it,
Because we
right?
have no
I think so,
plans to
too.
reprint Ice Age or Alliances.
Yeah, because I mean, I've always just assumed the reason they offer those triple small sets on Mitgo is because it gets the cards out, right? Like
I think so,
The
yeah.
triple, like whenever you get to something like what was like Journey, for instance, what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Journey will have been the least opened of the Theros set, But when you offer the triple journey, especially online, it gets a whole lot of those cards out into the public, right? So, all right, what's next?
All right, Frostweb Spider. 2 and a green for a 1/3 with reach.
Yep.
And whenever it blocks a creature with flying, put a +1/+1 counter on it at the end of combat.
That seems really good.
So that's assuming it lives through combat. That's
Yes.
after damage. It gets a +1/+1 counter and becomes a giant spider.
Yep.
Literally a 2/4 with reach. And then it becomes a bigger,
A giant spider.
a gigantor spider. 3 mana
A
for
fatty
a
spider.
1/3 with reach. I think there's a bunch of spiders that are 3 mana 1/3s with reach, and that seems just fine.
Yep. I mean, and then maybe you get some value. I don't know though. Like, why do you ever attack with a 1/1 or a 2/2 when you see this guy sitting around? Or I guess you attack. No, you don't do any of that.
So we've talked about Highlander a lot, the local 100-card singleton format. We've had Alex and Serge on here talking about Highlander. You want to see a card that's relevant in Highlander?
Sure.
Scred.
Oh, Scred.
Also a sweet metal band name.
Yep.
It's a single red mana, instant. Scred deals damage to target creature equal to the number of snow permanents you control.
Yep.
So you'll get the mono-red Highlander players running snow-covered mountains.
Yep.
So that they can scred something for
like
even
4 or
for
5.
1 mana.
Yeah, for just one. It's like, and it's instant, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That tech.
That card real good.
All right. Tressorhorn Sky Knight.
There's a flyer.
I've seen this before. It is a zombie knight. It is a 5/3 for 7 mana.
Oh,
But a 5/3 flyer in black.
yeah.
That's big.
That is
What
really
does it-
big.
what does it do?
5 black. It has another ability. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Tressorhorn Sky Knight by creatures with first strike.
That's less exciting.
That's weird.
That's really weird.
yeah.
Was there a lot of first strike flyers going around?
Ugh.
Ooh, okay. Go with me on this journey. You got a red-black deck with the Orin Yeti. And they have a snow... They have a Frostweb Spider, right? That's become huge. And you give it first strike and prevent the damage. I don't know.
Nope.
Look, it doesn't
Seems bad.
sound great. I don't know. Balduvan Rage. It's X and a red. Instant. Target attacking creature gets +X/+O until end of turn. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. That actually seems all right.
That also
that
seems
could,
fine.
That could just kill something. I mean,
And then it replaces itself.
I mean, someone rather. What is it? Rush of Blood from Innistrad block was never amazing, but
It's, I mean, yeah.
this
You
reminds me more of like, was it Howl from Beyond? Is that what I'm thinking of? The old X and a black spell?
I mean, you have to be
don't-
careful that you don't just use this to 2-for-1 yourself.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, you got to be careful with it.
Well, I mean, this
I'd like it if it was like plus. I guess +X/+X would be then a
plus
green
X plus
spell.
please. Yeah, would be pretty
Does Howl
insane.
do what
I mean,
what I think it does?
Target creature gains +X/+0 to end of turn.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. Except this is only attacking creature, but that's fine.
but I mean, yeah, you just attack with everything. They don't block the one creature. Bam. +4/+4 or whatever. Or +4/+0.
Got more Yetis. This one's also not a snow creature.
What is
That's-
wrong? I don't
damn
understand.
Yets.
Some Yetis are, some Yetis aren't. I
That
don't know.
doesn't make any
Big
sense.
Yeti.
This is the Karplusan Strider. It's 3 and a green for a 3/4.
Oh, are we into our uncommons?
Yes, the Tressorhorn Sky Knight and the Balduvan Rage are both uncommon.
Oh.
The Karplusan Strider, it's, 3/4 Yeti for 4. Can't be the target of blue or black spells.
Just has protection from blue black. Actually, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it.
It was a 4 drop for 3/4.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah,
Seems good.
totally fine. And a rare, ba-da-ba-ba.
Seems completely playable in a draft
Ba-da-ba.
deck.
Huh. Interesting. Oh, no, actually, this seems okay.
Okay.
Soul Spike.
Okay.
7 mana. 5 black instant.
Yeah.
But you may exile 2 black cards from your hand rather than pay that mana cost. Which maybe you want to do because it deals 4 damage to target creature or player and you gain 4 life. Now, we just saw a card like this in M15. This Covenant of Blood.
Yep.
Does the same thing. It's 4 damage and you gain 4 life. And I think Covenant of Blood also had a similar mana cost, but it had Convoke.
It had-
Is Covenant
yeah.
of Blood 7 CMC or 8? 7 CMC. So it's the same CMC. Covenant you can Convoke, which of
Covenant's
course works a lot better in
It's also,
M15.
it's also a single black.
Yeah. Whereas this is exile 2 cards. So you're
I don't know if that's good.
hurting yourself pretty heavily
Pretty
on card
bad.
advantage there because you're using this card and you're exiling 2 others, and they have to be black cards.
Now, I was thinking how relevant is 4 damage, but this is a 5/3. This is a 2/2.
I think it
This
kills.
is a 3/3.
I'm pretty sure it kills
3/4,
everything we've
1/3.
seen,
No, it doesn't
except
kill
the
them.
Ronin Hulk.
Not the Hulk. The Hulk survives.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
so
it
it kills
bas-
most things.
I feel if four toughness is kind of the upper window on most creatures in this set, this card goes up a lot.
From what we've seen here and in previous Cold Snap packs we've opened, we could be wrong.
Yeah. Now, so like that could be good if that's guaranteed to kill most interesting cards. You know, most of the cards you care about. But I still don't I don't know if 7
It's
or
alternate.
2
It's
black
alternate
mana.
payment is a real kick in the teeth.
Yeah. Like if it was, oh God, because you're 3-for-1ing yourself there, right? Because you're losing this card and 2 other cards, and you're getting a little bit of life, and you're killing something, but that's still a 3-for-1. 4 life is not that much. How much life would you have to gain to make that worthwhile for you for a 3-for-1?
I have no idea.
It would, for me, it'd have to be like 10, right? Like that alternate cost is awful.
I have no idea what I want to take here. There's actually a lot of cards I like. I like the Drellnock.
I'm taking that.
I'm not gonna. I don't actually think I take the Soul Spike. Sky Knight seems too expensive. I kind of dig the Carplucent Strider, to be honest. The Frostweb Spider also. I mean, Ronin Hulk doesn't seem that bad. Ronin Unicorn seems okay too.
I feel like no, Scred is probably
That's
not.
Scred?
Scred's probably actually not great in draft because you don't get
No,
No,
unlimited-
Snow Permanence.
No permanence. So
Oh,
right? Snow creature, Snow
Yeah.
enchantment.
oh,
So it's definitely a thing.
Scred actually seems pretty all right. Like you could just take Scred.
And then go
I
hard
actually
into
I have a sinking suspicion actually what the pick here is the basic
The basic island.
basic island.
I mean, I was thinking about that. It's like when you go 5 colors in Khans of Tarkir, you're just like, well, I'll take this Windscarred Crag.
I assume
Yeah.
that's wrong, though.
I'm probably
pretty
wrong.
sure that's not the first pick in this pack. but-
Yeah, I feel that Scred or the Yeti where it's blocked you get 2 cards.
Yeah, if anyone has
Or the
drafted Cold
island.
Snap and is willing to admit it, let us know in
Yeah.
the comments. I'd be really curious.
Yeah, let us know if the snow covered island is in fact the pick.
All right.
Onwards now.
Onwards now into Nyx. Let us journey together into the world of Greek mythology.
Ooh.
So if you missed the last 2 episodes, I did one of these for Theros and one of these for Born of the Gods. And it's looking at, and I say the real world origins because, of course, the myths, the subjects of the myths are not real, but the stories are real. And they're stories from the real world. And they directly inspired a lot of the cards in Theros' block. I've got a little less to talk about this one than I did for the previous 2. Obviously, it's a smaller set. It's the same size as Born of the Gods, but whatever. But just in general,
You're not covering stuff you've already talked about.
I'm not going to cover stuff I already talked about. Also, the direct inspirations in a lot of cases are I feel like there are things that inspired certain cards that is just less obvious that I'm not able to pick up on. And it's like too many steps removed, and I sort of can't really pinpoint.
It's not like you can be like, oh, that it's not just a big elk or whatever it was, a big deer. It's actually like a legendary
the
creature.
the fox.
Yeah, it's not just a giant fox. It's actually a legendary creature. It's like, okay, this led to this, and we interpreted it this way. It's like 6 steps.
But I wanna come out of the gate swinging here with the Nyx Fleece Ram.
Yes.
Relevant in Standard, I guess. You'll remember recently at a Pro Tour, Mr. Yvonne Flock won with sideboarding into his Archangel of Thune.
Yeah.
And then gaining life off the Nyx Fleece Rams, and then he was slamming in with them. Did they have flying as well? I can't remember.
I don't even remember. I think so. They were big. They were scary sheep.
The Nyx Fleece Ram from the Tales certainly did have flying. It was one ram specifically. Cryos Chrysomalis was a fabulous flying gold-fleeced ram dispatched by the nymph Nephele, or the Cloud, to rescue her 2 children, Phrixos and Hele, as they are about to be offered up as sacrifices to the gods.
Which gods?
Just the gods.
All of them.
Yeah. And Chrysomalis was placed amongst the stars as the constellation Aries.
Oh, really?
Aries the Ram. The Nyx Fleece Ram, as you see, he's got stars among him, is indeed the constellation Aries.
Ah, so that was his reward. He got to eternally be among the stars for
Yeah.
rescuing these children.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And the Nyx Fleece, or, the Golden Fleece, right? This isn't necessarily literally the Golden Fleece from the Argonauts, but I thought that was pretty cool. Although I think it might be oh yes, it is. Yes, this is the ram that of the Golden Fleece. So yes, it's the same. It's the same flying sheep.
That ram will have a longer impact on history than I will.
Yeah, I was going to start with.
Disappointing.
I was going to start with white, though I didn't actually have much to talk about in white. Honestly, that was the most interesting thing of the white cards. I was looking at things like Aegis of the Gods. It's not really clear, or the Acrone Mastiff. Dogs, I guess, like the Dictate of Heliod. It's like, yes, Zeus talked to people all the time. Actually, I wanted to.
It would be the sexy Dictate of Heliod if it was really inspired by stuff that Zeus was doing.
I wanted to touch briefly on the first of many nymphs, the Harvest Guard Alceids. I think I mentioned this before, but Alceids were the nymphs of glens and groves. They were because there was I know there were Alceids in the previous thing, but just there's different kinds of nymphs. They all have different names. They're all from different places, and Alceids were the ones from glens and groves, which maybe sounds a little greener, but
Then the white card.
here they are in white, so why not? But I thought the Nyx Fleece Ram was really, really interesting. Moving into blue, I'm honestly trying to remember if there was anything specific from blue. I mean, again, you have stuff like Leviathans and sea creatures and tritons and, big scary things that would get, sent to fight the mortals. But there wasn't anything that I could draw like a direct comparison. I really wanted the Crystal and Nautilus to be a thing, but I swear I could not find any Nautilus referenced in Greek mythology. But maybe I've just missed something very specific. Or
Did you look for see-through snail? See-through sea snail.
Some sort of deep cut mythologically. I did not look for see-through snail, no.
Well, there you go. So, we'll get back to you guys on that one. If you want to Google see-through sea snail and see what you get. She seeks see-through sea snails by the Google. Sorry, I'll stop.
No, it's okay. Speaking of different kinds of nymphs, the Dreadbringer Lampads.
Ah.
The Lampads are the nymphs of the underworld.
Oh, really?
Yes. Companions of Hecate, the Greek Titan goddess of witchcraft and crossroads. They were a gift from Zeus for Hecate's loyalty in the Titanomachy.
So he's just like, have some nymphs?
Or Hecate? No.
Oh, like the Shin
speaking
Megami Tensei demon?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Speaking of me misspeaking, by the way, I wanted to apologize for last time. I was frankly not paying close enough attention to the question about the Titan of Eternal Fire, and I was like, yeah, but Prometheus wasn't a Titan, so I don't know what I was thinking when I said that. Obviously, Prometheus was a Titan. Many of you have corrected me on that, and quite rightly, and because I talked about him previously in a different episode, so I knew he was a Titan. I hate when I make a mistake when it's like, but I knew that. Oh, so thank you for picking up on that, everyone who tweeted at me. All right, let's get to the good stuff here. Now, this one most people knew. King Makar. King Makar, the Gold Cursed, is so clearly, that's probably one of the most obvious references in the whole thing. King Makar, the Gold Cursed. Good old King Midas, the Gold Cursed, I guess. The story of King Midas, of course, is that he wants gold, he wants riches, and so he gets cursed such that everything he touches turns to gold, including his love, his family. Just like our friend King Makar here. I know that when the set was released, our friend Marshall from Limited Resources was he and previous Limited Resources co-host Ryan Spain, who now works at Wizards, were having an argument on Twitter about the flavor of King Makar because it's a May, the untap.
Oh, really?
Right? It's it is. It's when King Makar becomes untapped, you may turn something into gold.
Yeah.
And Marshall was saying that it shouldn't be a may. It should be a must, so that even if you don't have, even if your opponent doesn't have targets, you have to start turning your own stuff into gold.
Yeah.
Because that's much more. Well, I mean, it makes it a worse card.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it makes it a significantly worse card. Yeah. But I like it. Flavor-wise.
Flavor-wise, that's a windmill slam. I like how you get the gold artifact though, and then it's a mana rock. And I like how when you play the card, you get the mana rock. They don't get it. That's just like a little extra, big old middle finger, which I enjoy immensely.
Yeah. Also the Thought Render Lamia. So, what's up, Paul?
Sorry, I just wanted to. I was listening to Mark Rosewater's podcast, and the Aurification was a card from Onslaught block.
Oh, yeah.
When a creature deals damage to you, put a gold counter on it. Each creature with a gold counter on it is a wall in addition to its other creature types and has Defender. And when it leaves the battlefield, remove all gold counters from all creatures. It's an enchantment. So they were definitely coming into that same area way back in Onslaught.
Oh, wow.
Neat.
That reminds me a lot of Zathrid Gorgon from M14. I want to say that turned it was turning creatures into stone,
Yeah.
right? Where you destroyed a creature and replaced it with a defender artifact of the same power and toughness. I think.
Yeah.
Which like the flavor wise, this should have been in Theros. It's pretty beautiful. Am I correct on the ability?
Yeah, put a petrification counter on target creature. It gains Defender and becomes a colorless artifact in addition to its other types.
Right.
Its activated abilities can't be activated.
So it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't actually get destroyed, but it gets turned into an artifact and a defender, so it just goes and stands there.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. The Bearer of the Heavens. Oh, no, wait, sorry, Lamia. We didn't actually talk about the Lamia. Sorry, Thought Render Lamia. So Lamia was a specific person in Greek mythology. She was the beautiful queen of Libya who became a child-eating demon.
Neat.
Oh, that's a bit of a...
What happened between point A and point B there?
Well, as with many women in Greek mythology, she was a mistress of Zeus, causing Zeus's jealous wife Hera to kill all of Lamia's children and transform Lamia into a monster that hunts and devours the children of others.
Cool.
So...
Don't mess with the gods, basically. Jesus.
Another version is Hera steals Lamia's children, and Lamia is driven mad from grief and despair, and then just goes and eating other people's children anyway. Some accounts say she had a serpent's tail below the waist.
Well, I know if you play any of the Mega 10 games, I keep referencing these because these games have a lot of mythology references and all the character designs. Like they have all these Greek gods and stuff, and then the Lamias are half people, half snake in those games.
And then later traditions referred to Lamia as there being many Lamia, monsters similar to vampires and succubi that killed people and fed on blood and all that stuff.
Well, here's the interesting thing. If you look at the flavor text on the Thought Render Lamia, it's like when, because she has Constellation, when her or another enchantment enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. It's like them losing a child. They're the potential, right?
Exactly. Flavor text.
That might be a bit of
some predators can sense fear in their prey, but the Lamia is drawn to madness. It's pretty sweet. Bearer of the Heavens. This is another one that surprised no one.
Is this Atlas?
It's Atlas. Now, visually referenced, as I mentioned previously, on Weight of the Underworld, of the man holding the globe. But of course, Atlas in Greek mythology is the primordial titan who holds up the celestial spheres. And so the bearer of the heavens, with his ability, when he dies, destroy all permanents at the beginning of the next end step. Because if Atlas is dead, everything's
gone. Yeah.
Everything's going away.
Even all the land.
Yep, everything.
That's a fantastic thing to put into a commander deck.
Just goofy stuff. Just a massive reset button.
Well, I mean, you build the red commander deck that's just dicking with people, so it's got like all of those
Warp World,
Scrambleverse. I was gonna say, what's that annoying spell that redistributes everybody's shit?
I love that card.
I hate that card.
I know.
I scoop in response.
Oh man, I just thought of best combo: Lumbering Tower Shell. Send him off, destroy the Bearer of the Heavens, everything dies, he hits them, and comes back to you.
Oh man,
because he's gone when it actually happened.
Finally, Dirtle Turtle.
He's the world turtle. He's like Atuin from Discworld. That'd be amazing. If we take a look at Forgeborn Oreads, it's another of our delightful nymph cycle. Oreads are the nymphs of the mountains, valleys, and ravines. So, of course, they are the red nymphs in Magic. So there's the Forgeborn Forgeborn Oreads. Just wanted to keep you updated on Oread quest. I really wanted the Sigiled Skink to be something, but I can't find any references to skinks or salamanders of relevance in Greek mythology, which is unfortunate.
It was Dave's pet.
Yeah.
That was just how it worked.
I mean, that's a distinct possibility.
Yeah.
Speaking of ones I wanted to be real, the Swarmborn Giant.
Which one was the Swarmborn Giant?
So he's the it's 6/6 for 4. When you deal combat damage, when you're dealt combat damage, sacrifice it.
Yeah.
And judging by the art, there's no flavor text, but judging by the art, it's like a bunch of it's a bunch of insects sort of forming into this giant, and then when you actually get poked,
Oh, right. Of course.
Right.
Okay.
and I wasn't able to find any sort of reference to that, but I was able to find, one second.
A picture of a butt.
No, hang on.
There's probably some incidental butts in some of the artwork you've been looking up.
So there was someone who was given the ability to shapeshift, and did like turned into a cicada at one point. Right, Tithonus, or Tithonus. In later tellings, he turned into a cicada, living for eternity, but begging for death to overcome him. I don't know. The point is, no.
Oh, wow. That's super shitty.
Yeah.
What was that, Paul?
This is Tethmos, different guy.
Which?
No, that's the cat
the
guy.
Tethmos High Priest? No. But in green, of course, another one, just the name directly from it, the Golden Hind.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the
Forgot about that guy. I like that
or
guy.
the what's the full proper name of the Golden Hind?
Too
Where is
many
it?
tabs.
So many
Oh,
tabs.
that's Goldhide
open.
Ox. Wrong one, Paul.
The Serenian Hind. That's the Golden Hide Ox. The Golden Hind, though, or the Serenian Hind, was an enormous hind or deer. It's a female deer. Or a doe, I guess. But anyway, in this case, a hind.
Doe, a
Yeah.
deer, a female
It
deer.
was sacred to Artemis, the chaste goddess of the hunt. The chaste goddess of the hunt, animals, and unmarried women. I don't know.
Okay.
Had golden antlers like a stag and hooves of bronze or brass, and it was said it could outrun an arrow in flight. And of course, catching it was one of the labors of Hercules. Because everything was a labor of Hercules. It's like this amazing animal, Hercules, go catch it.
Did he kill it, or did he just like take a selfie with it?
I'm betting he killed it. Let's find out.
God damn it. Hercules.
Sounds like something Hercules would do. Look, man, Hercules
Oh.
got to eat.
No,
Oh.
didn't. It's the third task, which is the third labor of Hercules, did not involve killing a beast, as because it had been established that Hercules could overcome even the most fearsome opponents. So Eurystheus decided to make him capture the hind, as it was so fast it could outrun an arrow.
Hey! Thanks, ancient Greeks, for giving a little bit of ecological consideration to your mythological tasks.
So it makes perfect sense that the golden hind in magic mechanics would be able to tap for any color of mana because it's gold and
It can only
It
tap for
attacks
green,
for
though.
green.
only taps for green.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I think they just wanted a mana bear.
actually, yeah, that'd be really good, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Piker the tap for anything. That'd be really good.
That's disgusting.
That'd be rare.
That's rare.
Yeah.
It'd be-
I mean, Bird of Paradise taps
Mythic,
for everything, and
yeah.
it's an 0-1.
that flies though.
So,
More nymph quest, of course, at the Oakheart Dryads. Dryads are from the forests. Oh yes, of course. The Renowned Weaver. I didn't even have a tab open for this one because it was so obvious to me. So Renowned Weaver, mechanically, is it's a 1/1 human, and then you sacrifice it and you put a 1/3 spider into play.
oh my god, is that Ariadne?
Arachne.
Arachne, or whatever her name is?
It is.
Yeah.
And
I think I know this myth.
the flavor text. You think your weaving is as beautiful as mine? Let me show you the true meaning of the craft.
Yeah, basically what happened is this girl was just like, I'm so good at weaving. Look at my shit. Yeah. And then Hera was like, no, shade.
Athena.
Damn
Yes.
it. I was really close.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I feel that was an extremely accurate retelling of the myth.
Exactly. Well, there's 3 different versions of the story.
That's unusually spiteful for Athena, though.
2 in which Arachne wins and 1 in which Athena wins. But yeah, basically, she challenges Athena to weaving, who's the goddess of wisdom and crafts, and as punishment for winning or for
even just
just
being
daring to
saucy.
challenge a god, is turned into a spider, which is, I guess, where spiders come from. I think is the idea.
What you need to understand is that's actually extremely lenient and level-headed by God standards. If she had gone up against Hera, she wouldn't, like, for one thing, there wouldn't have been a competition. Hera would have, like, destroyed her immediately. But yeah, turning her in, and she turns into a spider, so she gets to keep weaving, I guess. Athena is considered to be one of the more level-headed gods. It's pretty messed up.
Anyhow, shade.
Yeah. The one where Athena wins, by the way, Arachne is so shattered by the loss that Athena sees that she could not live with herself if she could not weave. And so she turned her into a spider so she could weave forever. Like it was a nice thing,
No.
I guess. Anyway,
How chill.
point being, this is a beautiful mechanical representation of the
myth.
of Arachne, of the 1/1 human that turns into a spider. It's really, really good. And the Renowned Weaver. Reviving Melody is maybe not that exciting of a card. It's fine. It's the 2 and a green. You get to return target creature or enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. But the art on it, you'll see, is a lady there with a lyre, playing the lyre as a returned crawls out of the someone crawls out of the
Underworld, basically.
of the underworld with the flavor text. Listen to my song, and you'll need never forge a golden mask to return to me, because meaning that this dead person doesn't have to become a returned to come out. You can just listen to the lyre. And of course, this is a reference to the myth of Orpheus, which has been referenced previously with like rescue from the underworld and stuff like that. But of course, more specifically, Orpheus using the lyre to play.
Can we just do like I want to do a magic crap shot now where like I guess it's too late. I didn't realize this. Where like he's playing a beautiful melody to revive somebody and the melody is turned down for what or something like that. Something equally stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, Orpheus played the lyre for Hades, and Hades thought it was cool and everything, and so he was like, "Okay, you can have Eurydice back, but don't look at her."
And then he looked.
And he looked at her, the fool.
I mean, it's kind of a shitty thing to say to somebody, though. You can have your person back, but don't look at her.
It was don't look at her until you're out.
Oh.
That was it. He couldn't wait. It was like, just wait till you're outside before you turn around. And he didn't. He wasn't.
Well,
he had to check.
well, you're a scrub, Orpheus.
Yeah.
Although these are the Greek gods. They mislead people.
Of course they do. Of course they do. Hey, speaking of the gods, let's talk about those gods. Let's jump into the gold cards here. Athreos, god of passage. So we've already sort of, like, Erebos is god of the underworld. He's more sort of the Hades connection there. Athreos has some aspects of that. He's more like Charon the boatman, actually, which is interesting because Charon was never a god. And I'm sure there's, like a minor god of like boats of the dead or something that for some reason exists. But by and large, Athreos, the god of passage, is he greets people into the underworld. You cross the river and everything, and so he's more like Charon the ferryman of the river Styx. But I did want to mention while we're in the gold cards before we move on to the next god that the underworld coinsmith, which is the next one, I thought was kind of interesting because of Charon's obol, which is an elusive term, it says here, which means what in that?
It's an illusion.
Yes, an illusion. That's what I thought. Good. For the coin, placed on the mouth of a dead person before burial in Greek and sort of in Greek tradition. It's to pay the ferryman, and so this is a coinsmith. Coins of the underworld are shaped from clay funerary masks, says the flavor text on this, which is. So I'm trying to figure out exactly the connection here, because he's making the coins in the underworld, but theoretically you'd be sending the coins to the underworld. I'm a little unclear on this, but
Hey, man.
I'm sure that's where the inspiration came from.
Underworld people got to eat too. They have an economy going.
I know.
A rich trade in Cerberus food,
Yeah.
which is just cursed people.
Speaking of the gods, we've got Keranos, god of storms. Now, here's the thing. We talked about Heliod and comparing him to Zeus. There's a lot of Zeus in Keranos as well.
I mean, he's holding a
lightning bolt,
a giant lightning
in a very
bolt.
sort of Zeusy way. Zeus himself was god of the weather as well, but there was many gods of different aspects of the weather. It got really
God of the warm autumn day, god of the hail on the third week of September.
You're not exaggerating that much.
Yeah.
It got very compartmentalized. Aeolus was the god of wind, but the winds were broken down
Oh,
into
God.
Boreas, who was the north wind, who controlled the cold winds of the winter, Notos, the south wind, the bringer of the summer storms, Zephyros, the west wind, who brought spring and breezes, and Euros, the east wind. And so you have all this, like, it's saying god of storms is it's a simplification, and you know what, we're fine with it. So, but there is clearly, especially from the lightning bolt, there is a lot of Zeus here. So I assume that's Keranos' hand on lightning strike then.
I
Yeah.
always assumed it was, yeah.
So, but we didn't know it was Keranos at the time.
True.
So, speaking of gods that are sort of different from their original interpretation, Pharika, the god of affliction. Near as I can figure, this is directly inspired by Hygeia.
Like where we get hygiene from?
Yeah. So she's the daughter of the god of medicine, and she was the goddess and personification of health. So Pharika is the god of affliction, but it's not actually meant to be that she's causing affliction. I mean, she does, but you recall the card Pharika's Cure from Theros, right? It's a curative thing. Like, she's holding like a bowl there on her card.
And then she's got the snakes, which are like the traditional, like they're around the
And
medical scepter.
Hygeia is presented with snakes. Snakes are Hygeia's thing.
How did snakes become associated with medicine?
I don't know. I don't.
look that up.
I honestly don't know. But Hygeia and each of her 5 sisters performed a facet of the whole thing. Hygeia was the goddess of health, cleanliness, and hygiene. Panacea was the goddess of universal remedy.
Ha!
Yeah. Iaso was the goddess of recuperation from illness.
That one did not stick.
Akeso was the goddess of the healing process, and Aglaea was the goddess of beauty, splendor, magnificence, and adornment, which is less related to medicine than the other ones.
I need to build a little shrine to Aglaea in my bathroom. Actually, I think there already is one. There are many products sacrificed to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm okay with a culture having a goddess to celebrate just hygiene and like sanitation.
I feel like,
Wash your hands.
even though Pharika is presented more as, or I guess maybe it's implied or assumed that she's causing the affliction, I feel like Pharika is actually doing more to battle affliction in this case. Like, she's certainly shown as one of the, like, on Extinguish All Hope, she's shown as one of the
bad gods.
the quote bad gods with Erebos and
Athreos.
no.
Yeah, because it's the 3 black aligned gods. Isn't
Well,
it?
there's more black line gods. It's the
Mogus?
the Demir one. The Demir
No.
god.
Who was the Demir? Wow, how do I not remember?
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yes. No. Yeah. On Extinguish All Hope, it's Erebos, Pharika, and Phoenix.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But when you take into account cards like Pharika's Cure,
Maybe she's a nice goddess.
I feel like she's battling affliction, or maybe just the afflictions that she maybe causes herself. Who knows? Maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I feel that you pray to her if you want someone to get boils, or also if you want boils removed.
Yeah. Iroas, the god of victory. We talked way back in the Born of the Gods thing that they sort of split. They sort of split the god of war into two different halves. The twin gods, and so you have Mogis, the god of war, and the god of slaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Iroas, the god of victory. Now there is a god of victory. It was a goddess, the goddess Nike, actually, spelled exactly like the shoe.
Just do it.
That's where they get their name from.
Yeah, and she was the winged goddess of victory, and Iroas does not have wings that I'm aware of. No, he's a centaur. So like there is a god of victory, but Iroas here is presented sort of as a facet of Ares. Crufix, though. Your boy Crufix is super interesting. Because he's presented more like Aeon. That's Aion. He's associated with time, the circle encompassing the universe.
Oh, that's where we get the term like eon from? Mm-hmm. Oh, neat.
Time represented by him is unbounded, in contrast to Kronos, which has empirical times like past, present, and future. Aeon is the god of eternity, associated with mysteriousness and the afterlife and, the concept of just endlessness or whatever. So Crufix, the god of horizons, makes the most sense to me that he's inspired by Aeon. Also something mana, I don't know.
Well, I mean, what is Crufix's ability, Paul?
It's when...
it's you have no maximum hand size. If unused mana would empty from your pool, it
does
becomes
not.
colorless instead.
Yeah, so like that's like breaking the laws of time and space.
Yeah,
kind of, because
exactly.
normally you just get to float mana forever with Crufix. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. He's usually identified. Yeah. He's usually presented as the nude or semi-nude youth within a circle representing the zodiac or eternal and cyclical time. So, or sometimes the Ouroboros.
That's actually a pretty sophisticated view of like the nature of time in the universe for like
right?
Greek people.
Wholly unbounded.
These people lived thousands of years ago. Keep that in mind. And there's people these days who have a hard time wrapping their head around like Honey Boo Boo.
I'm trying to figure out why I had this page open. Oh yeah, right. When I was way back in the white cards, there's the Eagle of the Watch or something, and I was like, I wonder if this is something specific, and it's not really. But eagles showed up a lot. Weren't they
a symbol of Zeus?
Yeah, they were a symbol of Zeus, and there was a giant golden eagle that served as Zeus's personal messenger. So there was that, which is the closest thing I could find to, because we're now moving on to the artifacts. It's the closest thing I could find to the Gold Forge Sentinel, which is it's a golden chimera. It's the 4/4 flyer for 6. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find anything that directly inspired this apart from the Atos Dios, which is the giant golden eagle of Zeus. I guess maybe they wanted to make it a chimera or just not have it be a bird or something. Like maybe that's what inspired this, maybe not. Maybe they just thought a golden chimera would be cool because it is. But I wanted this one to be real, but I couldn't find it. But the last one I have is something that was very real, actually. Like not just a story about it was real.
Oh, but this is an actual place.
It's not a place. It's one of the artifacts. It's also, when you consider the name of the artifact, it's really grim.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about now.
Yeah, so this is
people are awful.
This is the Deserters' Quarters, which is inspired directly by, which thing is it? By the Brazen Bull.
Ugh.
Which I don't have the thing open for. So the Brazen Bull, or the Sicilian Bull, or the Bronze Bull, Well, this was a real thing. This was a torture device. It was a torture / execution device because you didn't
come back
you
out
didn't
of
live
this.
through it. So it was a bull that was made of bronze. It was hollow, and there was a door in one side.
No.
And they would put criminals, people they felt were deserving, such as
Oh, this sounds fucking awful.
Christians or Jewish people they didn't like. They would put people in the bull, and then they would light a fire under it.
No!
Careful, not so loud.
Sorry. That was me and everybody listening to this podcast.
It's really it's really awful. This was actually in the recent movie The Immortals with Henry Cavill and Mickey Rourke.
Yes.
Directed by oh god, he directed like The Cell and stuff. He has a really unique directing style. Anyway, there's one of these in the movie, and it's like it's real bad. There was actually had an acoustic apparatus in it, sort of like a kind of a trumpet thing in it that would supposedly, as has been written, convert the screams of the suffering people inside the bull into a sort of a bull sounding noise.
Interesting.
So you'd have this like smoking bull with like smoke coming out of its nostrils going like as the people inside were being like
Burned and cooked alive.
Yeah, and not just like half of it was being cooked, half of it was also burned from the base of the like. Can you imagine cleaning out the bull?
Yeah.
I don't think you do.
Probably not.
Would you rather go in the bowl once or clean the bowl for your entire life?
Clean the bowl. Clean the bowl.
Sounds like a miserable way to die. And on the card, it's called Deserters' Quarters. All you have to do is desert. This is like, who is this? This is the, what city is this?
I was hoping...
In Akros, the penalty for running from battle is 1 night stay in the Deserters' Quarters.
Wow.
Pretty sure that would just kill you. Like you can see on the card, there's a guy being shoved in there. There's a fire under the bull. So yeah, this is not a creation of myth. This was a thing that existed.
This is why I think a lot of people chose to like commit suicide rather than actually face these sort of public execution tortures that they had in this time period.
Yeah, and there's like there's stories of more than one of them. Like this was a design that several people saw and were like,
oh, I want me one of those.
I want one of those.
That will go nice in the kitchen.
Yeah. So, super freaky. So yeah, it's a lot of the.
And on that happy note.
Yeah, and on that happy note. Yeah. So as I said, a lot of the sort of one-to-one associations got sort of snapped up by the first 2 sets, but there were still some really excellent ones in Journey to Nyx. Like I said, the Renowned Weaver for Arachne and the Golden Hind and
that thing,
the Brazen Bull. But there's a lot of cards in here that are just sort of generally, inspired by a lot of the kind of tropes and such without being directly one-to-one related to things. And that's finally it for the Theros Flavour breakdown. I hope that you've enjoyed this as much as I have.
I thought it was super educational.
Yeah, I think it's neat, but then I'm that kind of guy. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this and the other 2 episodes, which are still on YouTube. If I remember, maybe we'll put like an annotation link here somewhere, like there and like there, in these sort of regions. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening. Let me know what you thought in the comments, or if you think there's anything I missed, because that's perfectly feasible.
Oh yeah.
And we'll be back with our next episode talking about some of the spoilers for the new Commander set.
Sweet.
I'm excited about that.
Thank you everybody for joining us.
Yeah. Talk to you next time.